The stock market is in turmoil today, shaken by thousands of small-time investors taking on the big guys.
It's like the villagers storming the castle.
He finally got nailed today by the little guy, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Thousands of amateur investors, many of them college age, are banding together on the online message forum Reddit and buying stock in struggling companies like GameStop. Their actions are pushing the stock price way up, and that means big-time investors who bet the stock would go down, a trade known as short selling, are losing billions of dollars.
This is a stock at a 52-week low is $2.57. $2.57. It is up 13,000%.
The explosion in GameStop's stock price is baffling, especially since the company, which sells video games and gaming consoles, is struggling like many brick-and-mortar stores. They lost $160 million last year and closed hundreds of stores. So what's going on here?
You've got these hedge fund managers that have taken positions where they're betting on the stock to decline. The stock didn't decline. The stock went upward, and it didn't just move upward a little bit. It moved violently upward. And so what that does is it causes hedge funds to feel some significant pain in their portfolios.
22-year-old University of Arizona senior Nick Brown is one of those young investors who took the advice of the Reddit community and bought 6 shares of GameStop 2 weeks ago for $180. His shares are now worth $1,600.
I am shocked because, I didn't know this could happen in such a quick amount of time.
JP Hurtado, a sophomore at the University of Illinois, turned an $8,000 investment into $60,000.
It definitely feels good to look at my phone and, see that nice big number.
It's not just GameStop. Those small-time investors are targeting other businesses like the movie chain AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, American Airlines, and Tootsie Rolls, all businesses that are really struggling because of the pandemic.
This is a very, very, very risky area given some of the dynamics that are going on. You should not be taking your mortgage or what you plan to use to pay your mortgage and putting it in these names.
Foreign policy. He's Glenn Greenwald. He's an independent journalist. You can find his work on Substack. We hope you support it. And we're grateful to have him on tonight to explain what this means. You wrote a great piece on this today, Glenn. There's so much to say, but how would you assess what we're seeing with GameStop and the hedge funds?
There are a whole bunch of different power centers in the United States, many of which we often openly discuss: the intelligence community, Silicon Valley, the U.S. government, lobbyists. Obviously, one of the most important and powerful, if not the most powerful, is Wall Street, and hedge funds in particular on Wall Street, who are at the top of that food chain. And we almost never talk about how it is that they get to be multi-billionaires without really producing anything of value, just leeching off the American economy, taking huge amounts of money in exchange for nothing. Whatever you think of Silicon Valley, they get rich at least by producing something, whatever you think of those products. These people produce nothing. They just take, and they just take, and they take. And so for the first time, not only are we seeing them have pain inflicted on them, not by people who are stealing from them or who are committing crimes, but people who have figured out their game and learned how to exploit it by doing what they should do, which is be studying it, but they're also getting dragged out into the sunlight. So for the first time, we're talking about people like Melvin Capital and Citadel and hedge fund short sellers and understanding what it is that they're doing to this country. And it only happened, Tucker, because the internet, a free internet, when it's free, enables citizens to band together in large enough numbers to challenge these ruling class elites. And that's why we talk so much about the imperative nature of defending the internet from surveillance, defending it from censorship. It is a very powerful weapon in the hands of citizens against ruling class elites, and that's why they're so bent upon seizing it back, controlling it, regulating it, and censoring it.
Entrepreneur Mark Cuban says that he's actually a big fan of what's playing out between retail investors and hedge funds around shares of GameStop. Users of Reddit's Wall Street Bets forum have helped bid that stock up massively this week. Last night, Cuban tweeted, "I've got to say I love what is going on with hashtag Wall Street Bets. All of those years of high-frequency traders, front-running retail traders, now speed and density of information and retail trading is giving the little guy an edge. Even my 11-year-old traded with them and made money." Mark, of course, as you know, is also the owner of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks, and he joins us right now on the Squawk Newsline. And Mark, I want to hear your thoughts on this, because I get it. I love the sentiment of being able to stick it to the hedge funds. And what the hedge funds have been able to do in some cases has been really, really bad news. But if you're manipulating market prices, I don't see how that's a good thing really in any scenario.
How's this any different than what every brokerage firm does? You know, we've been talking about get long, get loud for
it's not
generations.
It's not good for the brokerages to be doing that at all either. I'm not defending that. It's just when you see moves like this, it's a little crazy. And I wonder what Doug Parker is thinking. I wish we could get him back on to ask him what he thinks about his stock being up better than 50%, because I would think that makes a company pretty hard to run, too. How do you live up to those expectations now?
Oh, but they're not expectations at all. I mean, look, the reality is you just have to run your company and do your best. It doesn't change the fundamentals of the company at all. You know, it so many respects is window dressing. And if you are an owner of American Airlines, if you're an owner of GameStop, hopefully, you know, prior to all this, hopefully you owned it for a good reason and you believe in the company. And all the not even manipulation, all the swings in the price of the stock, it's all just mishigas, right? I mean, if it's a good company, it's a good company. If it's a bad company, it'll end up going out of business. And, you know, the people who, you know, bought it just to speculate, some will make money, some will lose money. But that's just the way the market's always worked.